Let's test this mic. I hope it's working. So it should be working. We'll turn up the mic to about halfway. Just gonna let it roll for a minute. One more minute. I'll grab a glass of water. Nestle Pure Life, bottled in, where does it say? Hope, British Columbia, where they filmed Rambo #1 in the caves. They blew up a gas station there. Alright. As you see, that's one of the screens I'm looking at, so I can do my live feed, and that's what I do. See my view of outside. It's cloudy today in the Comox Valley. It's Sunday, the 16th of 2018. So, hope you're joining in. Harold, anyone else that happens to be watching. Well, today, my INVEGA update. Procedure is being very painful and torturous. Psychological games. I don't know what else to say. One kerfuffle after another. Or hassle. Every time you contact a College of Doctors and Physicians, or the Health Review Board that comes after, and the Ombudsman that comes after, of British Columbia, and Human Rights Commission of Canada, they say, there's nothing we can do. We've done an investigation but have no proof. Under Form 13 of involuntary, under the Mental Health Act, it says can be moved to Supreme Court. I want to put to the Supreme Court their decisions. Proof that they investigated that these drugs haven't harmed me or many others out there that I've talked to in society. I can't see doctors such as get new prescriptions that are 5, 6 years old. I can't see dental work to get crowns put in, plus I can't afford it. I can't work, and so forth. I can't do regular exercises, and so forth. My health hasn't come back after 3.5 years of being off INVEGA. Like I've said in the past, in my last true INVEGA update in January, which it's referred to in the descriptions, I think, to go to. I'm just going to scroll down and make sure. It may or may not, but it's in the cards on that side, on the top, where it says RJBL. Like I said, on this side, here we go. We got the Ombudsman form from July 5th and 19th, saying they got my DVD and all the information that I got given to from the college and the Health Review Board of Professionals. That they said they investigated, blah, 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 all prepared for court. They didn't want to ask me any questions. They read my information, said they didn't do anything wrong. But they did. I have no health anymore and have no life. I want to live a life. I want my fitness back. I want my sex drive back, that I didn't even have sex for, 15, 20 years before that. Last date was 1997 with a Master's of Psychiatry, which she was taking at the university in Saskatoon, would be the University of Saskatchewan, and was a very beautiful and pleasant woman. I've asked for things to be rewritten because the psychiatrist or psychiatry lady wrote a total false news and accusation, as well as the ER doctor believing false news and accusations and false statements from a police officer. No proof that I was mentally ill, no proof that I committed mischief in any court system. Charges laid, but not convicted, so no proof at all. You can't say a false statement about somebody unless you can prove it in the court of law, which they never showed up for the mischief charge as well. So, false news. And you can't say somebody's violent if you're listening to the mother saying the kid is being violent towards the mother when the mom is poking the kid and assaulting the kid their whole life. Under ethics, it says if a child says child abuse and she never brought up, was your mom, you violent towards your mom, or how do you feel about your mom? No discussion. Their report is so vague about nurses saying that this, and this about them, that I lost weight, that 60 pounds, which I've always been 190 to 170 pounds since I graduated from high school, and no more than that. So she lied on that as well. You look at the report, it's falsehood. I've asked this to be changed. I've asked for my hormones replaced. I don't want to be controlled by taking a medication to survive in this world and live by human control. That's just like trafficking of a person. I've stated these facts. And as many people don't want to be on INVEGA, they don't want to be controlled by another thing just like diabetics, that they have to take a pill every day to live a life. It's unfair. It's cruel. It's an unusual treatment and a punishment that somebody wants to commit malpractice by a falsehood of a group of actors going around and assaulting people so they can do these type of treatments to people. Instead of having equal opportunities in life, everyone gets to live a life and enjoy life. What else can one say? We all want to live a good life. We all want to work. When wages are unfair, you can't live by them. The United Nations already said so. You go to work, you get assaulted. How do you get assaulted? It's called workplace harassment, sexual harassment, or criminal harassment, just like stalking a human being. You go to work, you're told you're going to get an hourly wage, what it's going to be, and in 2 weeks your paycheck's not there. That's misleading a human being that there's a job there. That's fraud. That's a lie, is it not? Also, it's like bouncing a check. These people who have business licenses, just like the license to be a doctor or a police officer, are all educated by the government and given a certificate by the government saying these are reliable human beings to do so. But they're committing crimes of genocide, killing human beings' self and wellness and self-esteem. So they don't want to be nothing in life and don't want to exist and never want to work and go through the same pain and suffering again. Assaults leading up to INVEGA and being put into a hospital by the doctor saying, and the RCMP saying, hey, this guy has a psychological problem, needs an attitude adjustment. No, he doesn't need an attitude adjustment. He needs what? He needs a fair and equal life. These are the forums I was talking about. They're just popping up now as well. And it says here, appeal to the courts, the Supreme Court. Malpractice is a leading cause of deaths as well, according to all these kind of people. The NRA, and so forth. Form 13, Mental Health Act. It states there, seek a lawyer, the review panel, final thing, appeal to the court. I want to go to court. Ombudsman said, nope, they did nothing wrong. I don't care what the Ombudsman said. I want it to go to court now because the Ombudsman is lying of British Columbia. Mr. Murray. That's all I'll say. I won't say his first name. And the first guy was Wheeler. Same thing. These are all, INVEGA was the treatment and assault that they wanted to do on a, uttering threats charge for an attitude adjustment of social services, and they got their way, just like I was told by Robert Yeo. It was tossed out because it's unhumane. They wouldn't give an assessment order and throw me in a jail/hospital for this treatment. They had to find another way. Spraying of nauseous things in the air, administration of nauseous things like a date rape drug into a human being, knowing the outcome, what was going to happen, meaning a common nuisance is intending to harm somebody. Stalking a human being, putting him in a hospital, and so forth. Harming a victim. That's hunting a human being so a doctor and nurses and the parents can have justice and harm their kids and be caregivers for life. Does that make sense to you? All criminal offenses according to the Canadian Criminal Code book. We look at society. Am I mentally ill? Do I have a problem? Do I have schizophrenic? Am I paranoid? No, I'm not. I live society. I know that I could be assaulted, pushed, hit, bumped in any supermarket or any area. Anybody can say indecent acts. Hey, there's a pervert. There's a raper. There's a thief. And that's all they do over and over again. Indecent acts. It's another criminal offense, which in my YouTube videos it states in the public park by my niece and many others uttered threats and called me pervert in the park. They don't even know me. My niece, I met her once as a teenager or a young adult and had dinner with her. My mom's friend or longtime friend of the family, Hazel, was out from, where was that? Manitoba at the time. I never saw her since I was, 6 years old pretty much? And the only reason why I talked to my mom and my brother that day too, because she was in town and took some pictures the time before, because she was in town and asked to see me after all those years. I have no problem in life other than I'm tired of people uttering threats. That's a projection of anger and fear towards a person, playing mind games called torture, not letting somebody walk through freely, prejudgment, putting people down, calling them out, not knowing their facts before they know it, like child abuse, stealing money from your kids' piggy banks or bank accounts, neglecting one over another, not believing the facts that are already there, saying somebody needs an attitude adjustment. Hey, I had some friends go to a concert yesterday. It was Metallica in Saskatoon, and they posted it. They now have ladies on the front lines there too doing security in the yellow shirts. Years ago, I did security at the Metallica concert in, I think it was 1996. They were there, 1995, somewhere in there. Or was it 1997? So within that frame, 95 to 97. But stage was in the center of the thing. I was in front. The guitarist came by, played a gig right in front for the crowd, then went back on the stage. We were told not to turn around because some of the pyrotechnics that were going to go off in the back. Yeah, something you need to know, but who gives a shit? Just part of my resume of life. As well as I was a lifeguard at All Fun Water Slide, security person of a pool, watching people walk around in bikinis and whatnot and teach kids how to swim. Not at a water slide, mind you, and so forth. I also was a long distance runner, cross country, track and field, so short distances as well. Worked out to get physically fit, not get a huge amount of muscle on me because long distance runners don't have huge quads and calves and whatnot. They're usually quite thin. But like I said, high school I was 150, 160 pounds. And then slowly gained weight as I ate because I learned what proteins were, because we didn't eat many proteins in high school because I read Flex Wheeler or Flex magazines and Muscle Media 2000 and everything like that. And Dietitians of Canada Nutrition on what an athlete needs. 1 gram protein per body pound for any human being that works because you're physically active on a day-to-day basis to maintain your body mass. The more carbohydrates you eat, the fatter you might get because it produces fat on the body, not muscle. That's my update for INVEGA pretty much. My health hasn't improved at all. I do some bench press, which is basically a push-up, just with dumbbells, my body weight. I don't like getting on my thing and do push-ups. After a set of 10, heavy breathing, heart rate's high, feel like having a heart attack, and so forth. I still can't run. I can ride my bicycle, or bike, whatever you want to call it. Not at a high pace. I ride to Walmart, which is about 5-6 kilometers away, and as fast as I can, and my heart rate goes really high, hard to breathe and whatnot, hard to climb hills, strength in legs aren't there. I can do 60-pound squats, like I said, just like bench press, and that's each hand, so that's 120 pounds, and go up and do 10 sets as well, but my legs feel really weak. I'm usually doing 3 plates a side, that's 45 pounds a plate. I can do my shoulders. They're torn from that incident as well. When my second time on INVEGA, it still hasn't healed either, so I have to practice rotator cuff in the thing and light weights to try to maintain the muscle. My obesity is still there. I've maybe lost 15 pounds. My belly still sticks out. I got huge amounts of fat all over my body and can't handle it on my arms, on my belly, groin area, leg area, and so forth. Those are side effects from INVEGA. I'd like my natural testosterone back. That's the depletion of what INVEGA does. It's also a chemical lobotomy, plus prolactin is a estrogen enhancer. That's what causes fat and gynomasculous man boobs in the body. Looks like everything's going good. I hope the sound's working good and everybody's enjoyed what you listened to so far. We're looking at how many minutes right now? I'm just looking at 16 minutes. So the update for September the 16th, 2018 is just about to end. I've nobody leave a little message or anything like that. All I can say is it's a traumedy to deal with the College of Physicians, the Health Review Board after that, and the Ombudsman, belittling, degrading, and assaulting because they're supposed to be there to help you, or even a police officer to make sure this type of harm isn't done to you or any human being. All these acts are no difference than World War II acts, which Nazis did as well. Prejudged people, threw them in an institution, called them schizophrenic in those days for the first time ever, and introduced medication like this that sterilized them and killed their brains. Useless people eaters, they call it. I've posted it. It's in my descriptions in INVEGA number 2 playlist. Number 1's me chatting, like I've said, and the harm to my life is unacceptable, trifling. It's an assault. It's harmed my body and my life, and I can't live a life. I can't even go out and bottle pick and collect $5 to $25 or $100 a day in bottles and save up like I did to get my computer and my monitor, a new video camera so I can have a 1080 IP or a higher megapixels. This is only an 8 that I got on here every day like you see in my GoFundMe. My computer has lines on it, it squeals, makes sounds, my video card's dying as well. It cost $1,000 in 2006 for my monitor. It's done its job. Ever since Abilify and INVEGA, I've been sitting in this chair since 2014 when my mother bought it. It's completely fallen apart. All the stuff, the padding sucks. This is wobbly in the back because somebody threw it on the ground. Somebody wrecked my lazy boy that I had in the back here at one time and broke it. So I had to toss it out. I couldn't sit anymore. I couldn't lean back. It just fell apart one day. I sat in it and it was in like mint condition before. In time, all electronics has to be replaced. As you know and I know. Just like prescriptions, they go weaker. $10, $20, if you figure out 1,000 people at $1, that's $1,000. 10 people at, or 1,000 people at $10 is $10,000. Is that right? GoFundMe. If you can help me out, help me out. If you can't, you can't. I hope you enjoyed this INVEGA update. Please stay tuned. I'll keep you informed if I find any solution to better our lives. INVEGA is an assault of crimes of genocide and a human rights violation of the world. I have people from around the world on my Facebook page, INVEGA Side Effects. Please join it. I won't ask you any questions. I'm traumatized by people answering the same question over and over again and don't need to anymore because it's too hard to talk about. Being assaulted by a government, you feel like everyone else is trying to assault you in some way, even if they've been assaulted themselves. Like I said, I want my life back, my right to exercise and life, human rights 1 to 30, to be able to have a family and enjoy life. If I can't make money, I can't have a life. Money equals better living, better food, better housing, better location to live, and a better job because you can have a better education. Our government controls how much money you have, what education level you have, and what job you have. Similar to a state of communism, if you really want to look at it, just hidden away. And those who have business licenses, like I said, are controlled by them too because they have the education to get a business license, like journeymanship to have a construction company or business license to run it. Hey, like I said in the Ombudsman too, why doesn't every business have a business operating loan just like the Canadian government, knowing the wages are going to be there in 2 weeks and every time until a country goes bankrupt? Hey, if it's going to go bankrupt, the business, why can't they get one more operating loan, pay off all their debts other than their own wages or their last wage as well to all their employees, all the distributors they have stuff for, and now they're the only ones who are in debt, the owners of the business. Now they can go bankrupt because now they have a debt of what? Instead of being $10,000 or $20,000 or $100,000, it might be $300,000. Makes more sense than making people live in slavery, just like the United Nations say, and have people starve to death because there was no wages for them and they were misled. Thanks for listening. I'm tuning out. This is Ross Jason Bohemly, by the way.